So here's a quick and easy marinara sauce recipe that you can make really super fast. It cooks in a crock pot and it goes together in probably, oh gosh, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and it yields a pretty good amount of marinara that'll last more than a week for a family of 3 or 4. It's a 2-to-1 ratio of crushed tomatoes to diced tomatoes. And then I generally add whatever inexpensive existing marinara sauce is, only for the sodium and the salt that's in here. So no other salt is added. Some Italian seasoning, 1 largish onion, and about 2/3 to 3/4 of a really big bulb of garlic. This one's kind of small, so I'll put the whole thing in. So those are all the ingredients. The onion gets sauteed. The garlic is crushed. All of this stuff is mixed into the crock pot, cooked for 8 hours, and then it's left to simmer for 4 or so. And then I usually add beef or sausage at that point after I cook these ingredients, including the onion, cooking that for 8 hours. I add in, oh gosh, a fair amount of Parmesan cheese until it's just the right amount of cheesiness. Usually I'll try to go and get some good grated Romano. You can use this Parmesan cheese. I usually use about 6-ish ounces at the most, sometimes 5 ounces of cheese. This just doesn't taste quite as good if you go and get like really good fresh, but if you're on a budget, you can throw this in there at the 8-hour point. And then after the cheese, I let it simmer. After I add the cheese at 8 hours, it cooks on high. I let it simmer for 3-4 hours. Sadly, I do not have a gas stove. I just have this electric one. But I get by. I'm not by any means a brilliant cook, but that's kind of the point of these videos. Just sort of an average person cooking, making really decent and relatively healthy food. There's no sugar added in this marinara, and only the sodium that's in the off-the-shelf product, which can be pretty much anything. That's really all the salt you need. One of the reasons I started working on this recipe was I just was tired of all the high sodium, high sugar marinaras, or just the really bland, even just using canned tomatoes, you can make a really flavorful marinara. So here's a fun trick for peeling garlic. If you find a container that you can seal or get a couple bowls together, you can just peel off the garlic and seal it in and shake it. And you get peeled garlic. It's fantastic. Obviously you can add more or less garlic to taste, whatever suits you. And you'll notice that I'm by no means a professional chef. I can't really cut, and my knife is sort of okay sharpened, and again, that's the point. It's just sort of average person cooking. This is not a culinary show. This isn't fancy pants. This is just like something that think most people with, you know, most kitchens would make and could make using what I would say would be relatively low to moderate skill set. So the onions are lightly sauteed. They're really not overly cooked. They're still pretty crisp and firm. And I'm just going to add the garlic. By the way, I'm using extra virgin olive oil, and you've got to kind of be careful. Some of it definitely tastes better than others, and I think some. So you can see by the clock, it's 12:39. That is AM. I'm going to throw all this together, and it can cook overnight. And you wake up in the morning, it smells great. Like 8 AM, well, closer to 9 AM, we'll be ready to add the Parmesan or grated Romano. The diced tomatoes are nice. They give the marinara. They're a little they're kind of watery, which is nice because you wind up reducing that. And but also it gives the marinara some aggregate, a little bit of bite, which is kind of nice. And like I said, it doesn't have to be. This is a brand, but basically just kind of an off-the-shelf marinara. You know, this is home-style marinara. We're really just we just want the limited amount of sodium that is in this. And I think these things are kind of heavy in sodium. I usually get this because there's a tomato puree, diced tomatoes, a little bit of sugar and salt, and some garlic powder, extra virgin olive oil. So the problem with eating these things on your pasta is they just don't taste very good, and they're just super sweet and super salty. It's just sort of nuts. So I don't know how much Italian seasoning I add. Quarter to half a cup. I throw some in, and I kind of you know, stir it around, and when it looks kind of seasoned, then it's seasoned. And don't overdo it, but you know, I don't know. I guess it depends on how much flavor you like. Yeah, a little bit more. A tablespoon. It also looks nice, you know, to see the rosemary and the oregano and basil and the little pieces of aggregate in there. So now we can add our onions and garlic. Stir this around. And it is going to look something like that. And then it's just a matter of walking away for 8 hours. And you know, it'll take you anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to get this far. It depends on whether you have kids underfoot. If everything goes really well, you can do it in as quickly as 15. I usually like to do it at night when the kids are in bed. And set that for 8 hours on high. And we go to bed. Well, actually, I'll probably stay up to 3 or 4 in the morning, but other people are in bed, and this is great. Okay, so the The marinara cooked in the crock pot for 8 hours on high, and it's been simmering on warm for a few hours, and it's now time to add the grated Parmesan. This is about 4 or 5 ounces of Parmesan. The marinara is thick, it's dark, it's reduced down. The level of the marinara is down an inch or two in the crock pot. The water that was in the tomatoes is reduced down. It's a really nice color. The garlic and the Parmesan go together really well, and the onions are just kind of a very mild, super mild flavor. The texture of the onions is really good. I'm not going to add all that cheese. This has probably come out to be about 4 ounces. You do it enough, you can kind of tell that it looks right. Let me zoom in here so you can get an idea of what it looks like. So, all told, the marinara comes in just around 1,900 calories for this whole thing. The beef is like 1,150. So it's about 3,000 calories for this huge pot of marinara. And you can easily get 15 servings out of it. So, you know, with the beef, it's a couple hundred calories per serving. It's a third less, you know, obviously without the beef. I'm not going to put in all the fat, just a little bit of it. Okay. And I'm going to let this sit for probably another half hour, an hour. All told, I'd say everything's been cooking in here. It's 8 hours on high, and it's been another probably 5 all told. It'll be 5, by the time I pull it out, it'll be like 5 hours just on warm, just simmering. And maybe 6. And that's it.